organization charged with protecting history from rogue time travelers.
Narration about we already know from the previous season. Unless you didn't watch season 1. But why would anybody skip the first season of any series?
We have taken up their mantle. Sarah Lance, Dr. Raymond Palmer, the Atom, Arsonist McRory, and Firestorm, the merged superform of Jefferson Jackson and myself, Martin Stein.
There's also Hawkgirl and Captain Cold, but Hawkgirl left and Cold is dead, so best not to mention them. In case you confuse this with Central City 2016.
Of course you do, because you're the Green Arrow.
This guy figured out that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow. Wonder if he could figure out that Clark Kent is Superman by looking at him.
Now, for the past 6 months, I've been noticing subtle changes to history, almost imperceptible. Actually, if it wasn't for a friend of mine who's a quantum physicist, I wouldn't have been able to detect the subliminal alterations. The point being, I think your friends are responsible.
Meanwhile, Flashpoint happened, where Barry went back in time to save his mother and altered history, then went back to repair the timeline, and some minor changes are left. Yet, this guy blames the Legends. Also, how the f*** did he figure out that the Legends are called Legends? Unless there's historical writing that they are called Legends. But till I find proof, sin.
If the Legend ship met an A-bomb, they're not in trouble. They're dead.
Actually, they are scattered throughout history. But yeah, at this time they are dead. In case you confuse this with the Pacific Ocean. Also, damn, it takes an entire day for Oliver and the historian to travel to the Atlantic Ocean and dive in with the submarine. Not only there's power, and Mick is still in status over the course of 65 years, but he hasn't aged a bit.
So I want you to calm down and tell us what happened to your team.
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you.
I guess in the middle of what they have cutted, Oliver threatened more till Mick said, "Alright, fine, I'll tell you, right after I go and get a beer." Then we go to this scene. DC Comics.
In the meantime, I believe I've identified our assassins.
Jeez, how can you tell that they're assassins? Does the black dark robes and the hoods that covers their face give it out? In one shot, he jumps out hardcore style with his arms out, and on the next shot, his arms are straight and look like he was being dropped.
What's going on?
I wonder how the King of France would think about the experience of confusing stuff when f***ing his queen.
Wow, someone just blew up New York.
During World War II.
Show stills New York gets nuked in WW2 from Wolfenstein.
Wait, does that mean the Allied forces lost the war?
In which case, why aren't we speaking German right now?
Because the Allied forces still won the World War. It's just taken 2 more years.
What could be worse than a genocidal fascist nuclear-armed superpower?
The end of the world? An alien invasion? Reboots?
Perhaps these news reports will prove useful.
Oh, that's good news. Even though we get nuked, we still win the war.
And the Cubs had won the World Series. Nice Back to the Future reference there, but how is this useful? Even though New York gets nuked 5 years before this paper's release, people still live there and sells papers. If you read this paper, it says that Albert Einstein went missing, then go on about his wife offering $1,000 for information about his whereabouts, then something about false sighting, and this is information from the same page that says we won the war.
I am merely demonstrating Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Show believes that Einstein was like this in his 60s.
Why should I believe that you are really a physicist?
Because for every action,
There's an equal and opposite reaction.
That's cool, even for Martin. Sin adduction.
Mein Gott. Ihr seid Zeitreisende.
Einstein says this in German,
Yes, obviously, you know.
and Martin understood it.
You think that you're such a big hero, Ray? Without that fancy suit, you're nothing but a self-righteous rich guy.
You can say those exact same words to Tony Stark. In case you confuse this with a shipyard in Hoboken, Antwerp. This guy fainted.
Guys, little problem here. Suit's not as radiation proof as I thought. Sarah! Fall back!
Hunter decided to fall back because Atom can't disarm a nuclear bomb.
What's the time scatter? A last-ditch option, and one that I pray we will never have to use.
Foreshadowing.
Where is everybody?
The appropriate question is when.
The appropriate question is when cliché.
Gideon, how much time do we have?
30 seconds, Captain.
I don't think Hunter could able to carry Mick towards the medical station and put him on status in less than 30 seconds. Also, Hunter hoped that when the bomb hits the Wave Rider, Mick would survive the explosion and radiation. Mick and the Wave Rider survives this. I really don't know what all of that says, but Jurassic Man? Really? In case you confuse this with North Dakota 70 million years ago. Also, Show thinks that South Dakota existed 5 million years before the dinosaurs' extinction.
How'd you find me?
I didn't. Pretty dead.
Is he okay?
Side effects of time travel.
Temporary time travel effects last longer on historians. Who knew?
Do you wish to gaze into my magic mirror, Your Majesty?
Ha ha, using an iPhone as a magic mirror. But if you look at the screen, it's pointing forward, and we can't see Jax on the screen.
We need you to tell us where Rip is.
I'm afraid I have no idea, but I would be happy to play his final message for you all.
Rip Hunter managed to give out a recorded message right before the atomic bomb detonated.
I can't believe we just changed history.
No, Dr. Haywood. We saved it.
By changing history.
Hello, Bard.
Huh. This is what the Reverse Flash was doing after Flashpoint? At least I know where to go to see what happens to him. Head Scary German.
Guess that would explain the aberration.